welcome to the Pharma MES 2018. On my set is Prasanna from Jannsen. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Prasanna Gururajan. I'm based out of Leiden in Netherlands, and I work for one of the organizations which belongs to Jannsen in the primary area of biopharma, but I'm in the role of IT as a product line director. So my role spans across the entities in J&J, and within my role I look at technologies deployment across these entities.
Today, I think you have a case study you're presenting at the Pharma MES. Please tell me about the topic you are presenting.
One of the things when we talk about Industry 4.0 or use of data, I'm keeping that as a focus for today's topic. And when we talk about MES deployment, that's just the first step, because you need MES to get the right data. And once you have the right data, that's where you're going to use the data. And in today's topic, I will be talking about once you have achieved your foundational step, what could you do next? And then I use a use case to demonstrate that.
And what use case was that?
So we had a challenge within our organizations and most of the organizations with non-conformance. And in a traditional way, if you look at non-conformance, you don't have a critical data set. But then the use case, what I focus on is having the foundation of MES deployed, gives you the critical data sets available. And then you could look at NCs before they could happen potentially from the exceptions collected in the system of MES. So that's what is today's use case about. How do we focus on using the exception data which is collected in our MES system to thereby optimize and reduce our non-conformances occurring across the sites.
What was the challenges to implement this and collecting the data?
Yeah, I think the challenge was having said that MES is deployed is a very easy thing, right? Because it's a technology, you buy it and then you deploy it. But having the right MES system deployed, that's the challenge, I would say, because if you don't have the right system deployed, then you do not have the right data set. And then you are looking for a needle in a haystack, but probably you have never put in the needle first. So I think this took us a bit more behind to make sure that we have the right recipes and right batch records configured in the MES system. That was one challenge. And then the other challenge is technology is often available. But then it's not about the technology, but how do you deploy the technology in the right way so that people can use it. So the other part of it is more, I would call the change management or the cultural change, because it's not just somebody who's sitting somewhere needs to look at the data, but we need to make sure that how can we allow the people right on the shop floor to use the data in the right way. So we went through a sort of a change management within the organization to make sure that the right people can use the data set. So I would say it's always two sides of the coin. So one is the readiness from a technology standpoint. That was the stream I said about having the right data sets within the system. And then the other side was having the people with the right change. And that was more the people side of it. And good that we achieved both of this. So we have a running use case.
I would ask you what was the biggest outcome from the project?
Yeah, so the biggest outcome was we went within a business goal to reduce the exceptions by a critical mass. So eventually we achieved through this business improvement project almost like 30 to 40% reduction because people could see the right data and understand where the problem was. So that was the biggest outcome. So which means reduction in your exceptions, increase in your quality, and also optimization in your time to production. So these were the biggest outcome if I have to call out.
And what was the biggest hurdles for the implementation?
Yeah, the biggest hurdle, again, I would reflect back to the improvements we had to make. It's more for me the change management within the people side of it, and also having the right parties involved to make sure that we have the foundation laid correctly so that we can take these steps and deploy it in the right way.
In your opinion, what is the biggest impact in the next few years for MES, IIoT, and connected technologies?
When I look at in the past, we use solutions and technologies as silos. But I think what Industry 4.0 brings is to look at it as an ecosystem. And these technologies have been there since ages. When we talk about IoT, cloud, that's been there for a while now. When we talk about MES, systems like ERP, that's been there for a while now. When we talk about internet, yeah, it's so old. But have we been using all of these in an ecosystem? The answer may be not. So I think that's the biggest, let's say, thing what I see in the coming years. How do we use these as ecosystems rather than as standalone systems to make the real business benefit out of it?
Thank you for your short insight. very interesting, and I wish you a good conference.
Yeah, thank you as well.